way. I'm not going to do that, right? Okay. Number two is most likely you feel, I am unprepared. And this is the thing about table topic, isn't it? The more you come out here, you feel like, I'm not ready. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this, right? And some of those thoughts probably come into your head would be, I have no idea. That could be one of them. Or another one would be, don't pick me. Now, you guys are all looking at me right now. Later on, when we do the table topic session, let's see how many of you look outside the window. That part is going to happen. Then, or what if I have nothing to say? So those are the questions we're going to address. Today, we are going to talk about table topic brain gym. In terms of table topic, is not just only a skill for you to come up here and be able to answer any questions, but it's a way to practice your thinking. All right, and ultimately, what can you get? Well, I would say you can become more organized. That's one. Two, practice your imagination. And last but not least, build up your confidence. This is something very important. This is what we want out of this whole training, right? And so therefore, this is what's going to happen today. For the next 30 minutes or so, we're going to play different improv games just to practice your thinking process, all right? And at the same time, hopefully building up your confidence so that you'll be ready for the table topic session, okay? And there are 3 stages in terms of table topic. The way I identify it is the pre-stage, before you go on stage, because that's when you are, okay, running 1,000 miles per hour with your heart pumping very fast, and you're like, okay, what should I say? What should I say? Those are the things we're going to address. And then during the stage time, what you can do. And of course, there's always the after stage. And this is also the very important key to improving your table topic. All right? So let's talk about the pre-stage. Let's talk about this right here, first of all. What do you see here? Mario. And what do they like to do?
They like to get rich.
They like to get rich and then collect coins, right? So try to think of him, try to tell yourself this. I would like you to shift your mind from saying, okay, I'm going out here, I'm going to fail, to saying, okay, I'm going out here to collect coins of experience. All right? You're collecting coins. Each time you come out here, you gain 1 coin of experience. And the more you gain, the better you get. All right? Now, before we actually move on to the next part, I would like to play a little improv game with you. This is the question. What if we can celebrate failure? What if we can celebrate failure? All right? Now, at this current moment, this game is very simple. All you have to do is make up a failure in your head so that you'll be ready to tell people on the stage. And the audience here, what they will do will be cheering and celebrating with you that you failed. Now, I know, yeah, what? Let's try this. But here's the thing. When you're thinking about your failure, don't use your real life, because we don't want a therapy session right here. It's like, stop. Okay, please tell me more. Yeah, have a seat right here. All right, it's not going to happen. So make up one. But here's the thing. One that needs to have a failed event and a consequence. A failed event and a consequence. So for example, if let's say, oh, I forgot to turn off the light, you failed to do that, but then you need to tell the consequence. I forgot to turn off the light, and so when my mom came in, she tripped and broke her leg. Okay, that's a bit too much. Maybe she twisted her ankle. All right? So nothing too extreme, like, oh, I killed somebody. No. Just something in the middle, okay? So I'm going to give you 1 minute. Kind of think about it right now in your head.
I mean, if you can't use your real life, what's the point of this? It's just imagination.
Yeah, it is imagination at this moment. Later on when we come out, I would like everybody, once you state your failure, everybody cheer you up. Okay? So I would like you to experience that. So that's number 1. Okay, so let's try that. Try to think of one right now. Now, the first person coming out here, we'll have to remember, we're here to cheer the failure. We're here to cheer the failure. So once the person states, finish, we need to clap, cheer, and yoo-hoo, whatever you guys need to do to get that person to feel as good as possible. All right, so ready? Okay, ready, I assume. I know it's kind of tough. Okay, so I'm going to ask the president to come out here as she's the leader. All right, so let's welcome Jennifer. See, was not too hard, was it? Okay, so let me pick a gentleman from now on this side right here, perhaps. Hello, sir.
Oh.
Okay, don't ask question. No, ask later. Ask later. we remember these are all made up. We assume that way and we keep it that way. All right. Okay. So let's ask one more person. Perhaps. Would you like to give it a go? Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you. May I have your name?
Avis.
Avis. All right. Thank you, Avis.
Don't worry,
We're not go through the whole room. But at this current moment, if you think about it, now how often do you say, "Yeah, I failed," and really you cheer up? And this is one of the things you have to keep in mind. Table topic is one of those moments. You can come up here and then afterwards you feel kind of down because you couldn't answer that question correctly. So always keep yourself in mind that this is practice, this is an experience, and cheer yourself for coming out here and answer that question. It takes a lot of practice and courage, all right? So keep that in mind today, especially later on when we actually ask you for volunteers. I hope that you have the mindset ready to come out here, have a little fun experience, and learn from that, okay? So that is the coins of collecting experience. All right, moving on. So Dan Leonard, one of the world champion, he's always said stage time, stage time, stage time. And this is something that what we just talked about. The more you come out, the better it will be, okay? All right, if you're looking at this glass right here, pair of glasses, what do you see? Sharp imagery, right? Okay, and what do you see on the outside, though, outside of the glass? Very blur, right? Very blur. Now, one of the things about that we worry is the future. You're worrying about, what if I failed? What if I say something wrong? And all those things are from the future. And what I like about this glass right here is that it's telling you one thing. Focus on the present. Don't think about, oh, what if? Just focus now. This is your question. This is your moment. This is your time, okay? Now, to practice this be present moment, I would like to use another game with you. Now, this is from improvisation. If you have taken drama, improvisation is a technique where you have no preparation and you continue on the scene no matter what. And one of the the most easiest game we could play is yes and. Yes and. Now, how we play this is this. Can I use you as my partner?
All right, sure.
Thank you. See, he's willing to. We don't know what's going to happen. He doesn't know, right? As far as I can tell right here, is that we have two characters. And let's say he is the teacher, he is the student. Situation is, how about you give us a situation?
So one day the teacher asked the student, what do you do in your spare time?
Okay, what do we do with the spare time? Now let's make it a little bit more conflicting, okay? I would like to know what is your dark secret, okay? Let's say I'm the student, I'm asking the teacher. All right, or maybe you're the student, I'm the teacher, would be easier. Okay, now here's the thing. The whole game, you have 3 rules. 1, you must accept whatever the person tells you. Number 2, you cannot tell but, however, nevertheless, and other things. And number 3, must be all statement. No questions, all right? So these are the 3 rules. So go ahead, ask me. You can ask me the question first, or you make a statement first.
So your thing is, you say the scene is the student is
Wanting to know my dark secret.
wanting to know your dark secret.
Yes. So come on here.
Okay.
Yep.
So Roberto, or Mr. Roberto,
Yeah.
Mr. Fong,
Yes.
I heard that you have a dark secret.
Yes. And now here's the thing. You almost always say yes and. Yes, and you are in it.
So I have to say yes and
Mhm,
after that.
mhm.
Okay. Yes, and I remember that several weeks ago you told me about it first.
Yes. And then afterwards, I asked other teachers to join into that dark secret where we ate 5 chocolate cake, each 2 pounds.
Yes, and I can't believe that how those chocolate cakes were delivered so late. It was like 3 hours after the expected time of arrival.
Yes, they were really late. And I could not believe that you were actually trying to steal one of the cake for your mom.
Yes, she was so hungry at that time she hasn't eaten anything. And because why she was hungry? Because she was attending your workshop, which overran for like 3 hours.
Yes, it was unfortunate that was really ran over 3 hours. And I'm sure that she actually was very enjoying that cake. And so I heard that your grandfather ordered more for her.
Yes, and I think the grandfather must be telling something in your dreams because he knows something about the dark secret of your grandfather.
Oh, yes. All right, so we stop right here, but you understand the game, right? So this is how we use the yes and. And one more thing, forget about logic. As you can tell, as we go along, logic will be kind of out of the whole situation. So thank you so much, Samuel.
Thank you.
All right, now it's your turn to play this game. But we're not going to play on stage. We're going to play within your comfort of your chair, all right? So please pair up first. Pair up first. Okay. See, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 next to you. Maybe, yeah, thank you so much. All right. So let's, as a group, let's design the characters first. So we have A and B. What should we have? Now, anything is possible. Well, almost anything. All right, so should we have character A? Character A, what should we have? Any job, any kind of things? Maybe I make a suggestion, a policeman. All right, policeman. What about B? How about you give a suggestion? B could be? What does it have to be criminal? It could be a tourist, right? Okay, so let's say we have a policeman. Criminal tourist. We combine them together. All right, so we have A, policeman, a police officer, and then here we have criminal tourist. Okay, let's design a conflict, a little conflict that they have. So let's say the criminal tourist is trying to steal the gun.
No, it's too boring.
No. Okay, so give me some suggestions. Any suggestions you guys can have?
Criminal tourist has lost his passport.
Lost his passport. All right, so criminal tourist lost his passport and trying to ask the policeman for it. Okay, so first of all, raise your hand for A. In your group, decide who is going to be A. Yeah, you be A, you be A, you be A. Okay, great. All right. Now, so therefore the tourist will be B, okay. So criminal tourist will go second. Police officer will go first. All right, doesn't matter how you start the scene, as long as you make a statement. And then remember, you need to say yes and. The conversation will last for 2 minutes. See how long can you last without saying any but, however, and nevertheless, all those things. Okay? All right, so let's try this for 2 minutes. Go. All right, time's up. If you can't hear me, please clap twice. If you can't hear me, clap twice. Can hear me, stamp twice. Welcome back. All right, so let me ask some feedback around the different groups. Back there, how was your group? What does the conversation lead to?
It led to my partner, police officer, having stolen his passport.
Whoa, okay, that was an interesting part. Okay, good. And what about this group?
I think it's really difficult not to ask a question.
Okay, all right. That's number one. Okay, it's kind of difficult. And what did the story lead to?
To just like we're trying to figure out what kind of passport and the place lost it.
Okay, all right. Good. Yeah, very good. You guys are able to manage that. All right, what about that group back there? How did it go?
All roads seem to point back to being directed to the police station.
So, but I don't want to go, right? You're the criminal tourist. All right. Was there any moment where you were stuck with saying, oh, I need to say however and but you couldn't? All right? Now, this is a very important part. In our daily life, it's very easy to say no, but, however. And so therefore, when you come up here and do the table topic question, go with the flow. Be present, meaning that you say, yes, I'll accept whatever question you give me, and I'll add on to it. All right. So this is a little training for you guys to think about, and try to use it in your daily conversation too. Notice how many however and but you have today. And then notice if you change your communication style to yes and, see what happens.
The butt talk.
Yeah, the butt talk, right. So that's another way to put that way. All right, so So far. Now, don't worry about it, is that it takes practice when you say yes and then you're kind of stuck. So therefore, I'm going to give you a little structure. Okay? So after you set your mind, one is that you're ready to experience. It's okay to fail. Two, it's okay to go using your imagination. Go out there, be logical, have fun. All right? Now, little structure. I call it TTM. First of all, when you're on stage, take a deep breath. And most of the time, it doesn't work. How many of you have tried it? You guys are laughing, means I'm taking a deep breath, I'm not relaxing. All right, so therefore, here comes the next technique. Taking a deep breath is just only a tactic for you to relax, because the next part is where you need to do. Target your thoughts. See, the reason why you're taking a deep breath, it didn't work, is because you're focusing, I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail, I'm going to fail. So that's your thought. Or maybe your thought could be, I don't know, and that's your thought. Target your thoughts to the question. If, let's say, the question asks you a very complicated one, would you rather jump off the building, or would you rather go into Iraq? Those two questions are kind of tough to answer. I have no idea how to answer that. Then you can talk about, okay, jumping off the building. Then you can say, no, I would never jump off the building. Then you go into why, right? But then your focus will be on answering that question. You're present. You're not focusing on anything in the future, all right? Now, give you some structure. And so make a choice of a structure. Later on when you come out, I would like you to make a choice, what structure would you like to use, okay? Because each question could have different type of style. But let's look at this picture here first. What do you see?
Ping pong match.
Ping pong match, right.
It's kind of looking at the static target. I mean, it's like, you can do whatever, but the other guy is static, so.
Yeah. So the one is just sitting down, just doing nothing. The other one is just bouncing off. So here's the thing you guys can do. You always talk about the pros and cons. It's what we call a little ping pong structure. Anytime a question requires you to make a choice, you can talk about that, pros and cons. I'll talk about two of the choices. Only the end, you make a little conclusion. All right. Now, this is taken out from a Stanford professor. He actually suggested this right here, especially for business setting. Problem, opportunity, the solution, and the benefit. A three, what we call a rule of three structure. So anytime you have a question, what is the problem? Talk about it. Then you talk about what would be the solution. Then afterwards, you talk about what is the benefit, because as an audience, you want to know, how does it benefit me with the solution? So these are the three structures you guys can try to use. Now, a popular one in Toastmasters, what we like to do is tell a story, make a point, and apply it to the audience. So these are the three structures. All right.
For TTE or for the whole?
This could be for use for the table topic evaluators. Later on, when you are evaluating, you can evaluate on the structure. That's one thing you guys can consider. Delivery, the message. Okay? So, but as a speaker, you can also use this. And if you think about it, this can be also applied to your prepared speech. All right? So these are your structure right here. Sorry, how much time do I have left?
Almost 6 minutes.
6 minutes. Okay, great. Now, last one. What if we die and it turns out God is a big chicken? Not trying to be anything religious, but kids have a lot of imaginations. What if? We're going to unlock that what if today. Right here with the last 5 minutes, I would like to play another improvisation game with you. Now this time, you may need to work as a group of maybe 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you as one group, 5, all right? So I would like you to do this. This game is called I'm a Tree. I'm a tree, all right? Yeah, you're thinking, what? I'm in a business setting, I'm a tree? Yes, you are a tree. Now the scene requires this. Later on, you will need to form yourself a little circle so that we have a space, a stage area inside that circle. And what happens is this. The person say, I'm a tree. So you stand up here, I'm a tree. The next person comes in, and they need to add into the scene. So they could say, oh, I'm the water running under the tree. So then you have to pretend that you're the water. All right? So here we have the tree. Here we have the water running. the third person coming in, he would add in or she would add into the scene. Could say, "Oh, I'm the man who chops the tree." So pretend to be chopping the tree. Now, at this moment, you build up a scene. Now, the tree can make a decision. One is either take the person who's chopping him or taking the person who is the water and then goes off stage. Then the person who is left behind, let's say, takes the water, the guy who is chopping, he needs to continue the scene by repeating saying that I'm the man who chops the tree. And then the whole process begin again. You come out and try to fill in the scene. All right? And because there's only 4, so therefore you guys will be rotating quite fast. At the end of towards the end of the 2 minutes, try to go back to I'm a tree. That is your challenge. Try to go back to I'm a tree. So as you create the story, try to go along with it, and then at the end you have to go back to I'm a tree. Okay? All right, so go ahead, please form a little circle. So 5 of you, please form a little circle first. Oh, you got it? All right, very good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So may I ask, for the groups that you guys have been able to finish all the way through, what did you discover through the process?
It's fun to imagine stuff.
It's fun to imagine stuff. Good. Okay, what else?
You don't have to be very logical in this game.
Exactly. You don't have to be very logical. Good. What else?
Just unlock your imagination.
You're unlocking your imagination. Okay, good. There's one thing I would like you to see if you have noticed. As you actually add each person in, you're building a picture around that tree. And so that's something that you may want to remember when you're coming out here, when you're creating that story. Try to build it up as you go. You don't have to be able to tell me a really good story, but build the surroundings. Continue to build the little details. These are the important parts, all right? So these are your structures. And so before we finish off and wrap up, remember, when you come out here later on, take a deep breath. Target your thoughts. Make a choice for a structure. Do you want to use what if, pros and cons? Do you want to use problem, solution, benefit? All right, so think about that. And now we're going to go into the table topic section. And then afterwards, I'll tell you one more tip before we finish off. What do you do when you're actually sitting down after the table topic? Okay? All right, so how are we going to select this time? Last time, I asked you guys to throw things. Please take a card right now. Everybody will take a card. Okay, hold on to your card. Oh, I know you're the timer, right? So, although in the future, remember, timer can also take part too.
Yeah.
But
Evaluator, can I take part?
yeah, of course. Oh, wait, no. Hold on, let me think about that. Who's the evaluator here? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so evaluators, I'm sorry. Take it back. Although in the future you can, but for today's purpose.
What about volunteers?
Volunteers, you can. Yeah, of course you can always volunteer, but just take a card first. All right. Okay, and then evaluator, okay. Oh, transfer scare, here we go. All right, good. All right, so the way it works is this. I have another deck of cards where I'll pick a card, and if it matches yours, please come on up. Now, if, let's say, we have a really, really first volunteer right here, that's also okay too. Would you like to volunteer first?
Do I get to know what the topic is or anything? Or?
Ah, yeah, that's a very good question right here. All right, now, just for today, I'll let you have the topic first, okay? So you have 2 choices. 100 would be the easiest, 500 would be the hardest, okay? Most of it is about you, and today's theme is about, close to Valentine's, so most of them are related to kind of love, relationship stuff. And here are some of the movies that you may have seen, and there's a question coming out with that movie, all right?
Evaluate this, right?
Yeah, so basically, each of you should have been assigned to do table topic speaker 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Who's doing table speaker 1? So when he comes out, you can evaluate him. And then you can, and for all evaluators, try to think about this. You only have 2 minutes. So you can focus on 2 things. 1 is the structure. 2 is the content in terms of message. What did you like? What did you not like? All right? Now, if you have the time, you can focus on the delivery. But I would like you to focus on the structure and content first before delivery. Okay? All right. So, would you like to come out?
I don't have a choice.
I have to go in my car now. I ran out of volunteers. So, last one?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, so we have to find. Okay. So you guys are very lucky because of time is on your side at this moment. So therefore, I will stop the table topic. Now we will have three evaluators coming out. Okay, so I'm going to give roughly maybe 1 minute to kind of for you to think about, organize your thoughts right now. Okay.
Sorry, the evaluator will be commenting on all those three? Or just
No, each person, if you look at your name, you should be assigned a TT1, means like your table topic speaker 2, yeah, or 3. So only 3 of you need to come out for today. Next time, you guys have more chances anyway. All right, so it's good practice for your evaluation. Okay, let's have the evaluators come out first, and then afterwards I'll wrap up the whole workshop, and then we'll pretty much end this whole meeting today. Okay, all right, so first evaluator, hello, please come on out, thank you. All right, just to let you guys know, basically in Toastmasters we have a little custom where we shake hands with when you go on stage and when you go off stage as well. So next time try to build up that habit, because it's just one way to pass on the stage. It's just a sign for that. Okay, there we go. All right, great. So let me give quick feedback to the evaluators first, and then I'll wrap up to the workshop. Okay, I know we're short on time, so I'm going to go quick. So Christina, thank you, Christina, correct? Yeah. So you are dead on with all the suggestions and everything else. And actually, it will be for all evaluators as well. Notice how you go for a lot of positive, and then at the end, oh, wait, I got a recommendation, and then go in the last thing. Always try to remember positive, recommendation in the middle, and last but not least, keep it positive, another positive note. So that's what we call a sandwich approach. So I think for all evaluators, you have very observant. You guys are able to say a lot within 2 minutes, covering body language, delivery, message, content, structure. You can keep it simple. With only 2 minutes, 2 things of each, maybe. And then afterwards, you wrap up with a summary. So try to think about that. Otherwise, and just one last thing for a tip. The thing that you mentioned about emphasis and everything else, try to focus on how can you apply it to the audience. Maybe Holly could have showed us like, should get a dog, get a pet. It helps you to be happier, you know? So as long as you can add on that last part, in terms of structure would be really great, okay? So just to wrap up towards the end, remember I said there are 3 parts to this. Post-stage means once you sit down, you may have better ideas. And that's okay. And it's okay to go, I wish I had said that. Keep a little note, write it down. Because next time when you come out, maybe similar questions may come out. So therefore, it will be easier for you, all right? And last but not least, always remember, basically, if you do this repeatedly, you become excellent at this. Okay, so have fun. So I'd like to pass back the time back to the president. Yes. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Before we end the meeting, I thought I will have Angel, our timekeeper, to just quickly give a timer report.
Yay.